the big question, will Marquette be able to hit 2 wins this season? Or will the season end at 5-7 for the side of Seton Hall? Or will it be a 7-5 for Seton Hall and they'll cruise into the playoffs? Let's find out in this final matchup.
We will indeed. But before we get there, we'll take a step back. Slightly before. As in right now.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us here, we are on the front page of Twitch, and you're not quite sure what's going on, how this collegiate action works. We have a video breaking it all down.
So here's how it works. 7 teams representing the Big East schools will compete in a single round-robin best-of-2 regular season. Each match day will consist of 2 games against the same school. The standings are reflective of their game score. From there, the top 4 teams from the regular season will seed into a single elimination best-of-3 bracket. Whoever makes it into the finals of that slugfest will advance to the College League of Legends Championships play-in, where they will have the chance to advance to the CLOL National Championship. There, they will have the chance to cement their place among the greats of Collegiate League of Legends.
And as you can see here, looking at the standings, our top 4 has been handily decided. DePaul sitting at the top, Villanova close behind, Butler doing work over Providence as well. And now it's down to Seton Hall going up against Marquette. Seton Hall in this 4th place spot, even if they win both matches, the way the tie breaks are working themselves out, they cannot take it over Butler, so they are now in 4th place in what's going to be a very fun match.
And on the opposite side, if they go 0-2, they can't drop out because they have the tiebreaker over St. John's.
Yes.
They won both games against St. John's, so they will be firmly in the playoffs. But, you know, I think we have an interesting game here and a great way to cap off the season. Marquette, a team with hopes that I think didn't quite get off the ground other than week 1. They were able to sneak a victory there, but then since then haven't found their groove. Here's an opportunity here against Seton Hall team that they can find a way back in.
Yeah, they're going to look for that here. Up against Seton Hall, who've been a team with mixed results. Generally, they've been looking pretty solid. They've had some great moments over the course of the season. But they've also had some moments that have been a little bit of head-scratcher, where you think, wow, you were doing so well, and then all of a sudden things thrown out the window. They try to force fights. They overstay in a lot of different situations. We'll take a look at some rosters here in just a second to get things going. But before we do, I just have to say, you know, capping off the season, this match, it's a lot of it, you know, it matters a lot, you know, for these teams in terms of pride, in terms of school rivalries. But other than that, it has no effect on the standings. They're going to go in and have a blast.
Yeah, and I think this is where you're able to try different things, and you're on broadcast. You got a bunch of people watching. You got all the beep boops on Twitch checking in, as well as Sable. I think it's Sable Shadow's parents, Sable Shadow's mom. Hello.
Oh, nice.
Flipping tables. The original table flipper will be in the chat watching. So don't forget to flip your tables for Sable.
That would be quite excellent. Let's take a look at the Marquette roster first to start things off as we get into this. Of course, Sable Shadow there in the bot lane. Nova's chosen as well, rounding that out. Bo the Fall in mid. Owen, whose name we finally learned how to pronounce. And a new face up there in the top lane. It's Quan War.
Yeah, Quan War will be in the top side of the map. It will be Nova's chosen to start. And Nova's chosen one of the highest rated players on this squad. Foe the Fall has carry performances. Owen likes to facilitate things. And Sable Shadow and literally this are the ones that are in right now. Those two have been playing at that bot lane role for quite some time. They've literally had some difficulties, but I do think that they've been close and have an opportunity here to find their way against Seton Hall.
And Quan War's in chat saying that's not right. So maybe he's not actually playing in the top lane. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see as we get into that game. Let's take a look over at the other side, though. Seton Hall, their opponents in this matchup. Please be patient. Seton Hall, who we confirmed named himself that to troll us. Excellent. Nummy Warrior, of course, in the mid, and then the dual lane prowess of Quitney and Advice. They've been solid all season long.
Yeah, Quitney and Advice. Advice actually is one of the highest rated supports in terms of vision. Puts down the most wards out of all supports in the game, in the Big East. So Seton Hall likes to get the information first before making the plays. I think what needs work isn't their team fighting, but what they do with that information. Fight selection has an area to grow, and I look at Seton Hall, the jungler, Brady Hayes, to do a better job saying when the go button is and when the stop button is.
Yeah, that's a pretty crucial part of all this, and we'll see as we get into our first game here if they're going to find those moments or not. I'm really excited, though, for Seton Hall on this one because this is an opportunity for them to go out of the regular season with a bang. Like I said, they've had their ups and their downs, but this is an opportunity to leave on a win, to build that momentum, to carry it through into the playoffs. We are off next week, and then we're back on the 17th, of course, for those playoffs. And one of the things we have to keep in mind is that that's going to be a whole chance, a whole opportunity for these teams to scrim, for them to practice, for them to do VOD review, for them to sit down with their coaches and their analysts and their staff. Because a lot of these teams do actually have that, which is fantastic. The infrastructure is there. And this is an opportunity for them to improve. And if you can come out of it with a win, that's always the way you want to have it.
Yeah, and I think Seton Hall is one of the few teams where they will be returning. It's not just DePaul and Villanova making it back to the playoffs. Butler, great Cinderella story. But the last team that made it in playoffs last time was indeed this Seton Hall team with that a lot of the core in place. So it's an experienced roster that, again, hasn't fully found all cylinders yet. And if they're able to take the time off, get on the same page, hit the patch hard, 9.5, and maybe find themselves a pocket pick. We've seen what it's like when you play against champions that you're not normally used to playing against, when you're not comfortable playing against. They're able to find a couple things, a couple wrinkles in their match against DePaul, might lead to some good dividends.
Yeah, it might lead to that paying off for them, that ROI, good old return on investment of learning those additional champions.
Thank you for that, just in case. I didn't know what ROI was.
Well, now you know what ROI is.
Said just in case.
Just in case. I always like, there's so much jargon in MOBAs that people never bother to explain it. That is a business one for all you business majors out there. You know what I'm talking about. Let's get into draft. We're going to see if we can maybe draft some bank statements or something while we're here additionally. I don't know. That was all I could think of to continue our business analogy. Let's actually talk about League of Legends.
Yes, let's get us in there as we get started. Picks and bans underway. Again, believe it's Nova's chosen on the top side of the map with Owen for the fall, Sable Shadow at AD carry, and literally this at support. Sable Shadow, shout outs to his mom watching. She asked us to shut her out. So,
nice.
Fair enough. Bam.
There you go. Boom.
Please be patient, Seton Hall. Nummy Warrior, Quinton E, and Advice. No question about the roster that Seton Hall has been running. Same roster that they've had throughout the season. They rotated Quinton and Nummy a little bit around. Advice also played a little bit of AD carry.
Yeah.
But this is what they've settled with, a roster that they feel the most comfortable, and we'll be moving on forward with that. A couple bands coming out. Rengar, Yorick, Rek'Sai, and Echo removed by both these squads. So looks like junglers getting hit, Echo flexible, but usually seen in the mid lane, and no split pushing by the Yorick.
Yeah, none of that there. I love Collegiate for this. Every single game has a completely different set of bans. Like, you watch the LEC, you watch the LCS, you watch the LCK. Yeah, I almost said the LCS wrong. Thanks, Degon. Same thing. Any single time that you see that, there's a very standard set. The meta is super defined. There's these champs that are picked, there's these champs that are banned. But when you look at Collegiate, it is an opportunity for players to assert their dominance on single champs and then to have that respect ban come on out later. If you can make a name for yourself on a champ early on in the season, it can totally redefine the way other teams draft against you, and I love it.
Yeah, Silas, not someone that I believe Nummy Warrior or Seton Hall has used as much, but will be removed. I think Seton Hall might have used it once, but I do believe it was Butler that used it. Kennen removed from the opposing side. Nova's Chosen has played Kennen multiple times, and so they just get rid of that one, keep it easy. Owen likes to be one of those facilitator type champs, players, there it is, with the Rek'Sai, and so that will be removed from his kit. And there it is, Ezreal, first pick for Sable Shadow. And see if that alleviates some of the woes that they've had on foes bot lane duo of Sable and Nova's Chosen. Sable has played a decent amount of Caitlyn as well, so I was expecting a Caitlyn come out. To counter that, you pick the Sivir. That's not necessarily a lane counter, that's just more of, hey, let's farm up, let's get later. There are more impactful skills that you can counter from bot laners than Mystic Shot. Mystic Shot is on such a low cooldown that it's not like a Piltover Peacemaker, it's not like a 90 caliber net, it's not like a Piercing Light from Lucian. There are many other things that you'd be like, yes, I pick Sivir just because of that. Varus, a Jhin, instead, I think they're just playing for lane, getting the shove against the Ezreal. Ezreal has a hard time with wave clear, and Sivir can hang in the back, use Ricochet, throw the boomerang, and stay safe. So decent pick there. On the bottom side, Advice going back to the Sona, and then a Vladimir locked in for Foe the Fall. We've seen him do it a couple times, along with Owen on the Facilitator, currently in the meta in J4.
I love this Vladimir pick because while it's probably likely going to be going in the mid there, it also could flex in the top should they need it to. We've got a little bit of variability there. Owen, though, of course, on that J4, oh so destructive. we've seen it repeatedly, how big of an impact Cataclysm can have in these team fights, the flag and drag, the additional ability to just pressure in these bottom lanes or off lanes. We've seen the consistent flashes getting burned early on and then paying dividends on that later. Anivia as well being picked up here for Nummy Warrior, a staple there for him.
Yeah, Nummy Warrior will be picking up the Anivia. Just playing that. We've seen a couple players have that. Left for Egg used it for St. John's, and so did the substitute mid laner for St. John's as well, Woshi Feiji Liu, I believe. I tried my best with that one. I think that one was okay.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think that was pretty good too.
Woshi Feiji Liu?
Yeah. I was right. See, rolls off the tongue.
Oh, every single time.
Yasuo,
I've never stumbled over that name in my life.
Yasuo going to get banned away just so that Nova's Chosen doesn't pull that one out. Neither does Foe the Fall in case the Vladimir goes on the top side of the map. Kha'Zix's removed, so Brady Hayes' pool getting shorter and shorter. A ban that we've seen over and over again against Brady Hayes is the Shaco. And we're down to the final ban here by Marquette. I hope that they leave it up, and I hope that Seton Hall picks it, because I would love to see his Shaco. It seems to just cause terror all across the map. It's always difficult to play against a champ that is invis.
Yes.
We've talked about Evelyn, again for Woshi Jianzi Hao. Oh, I got it backwards. Yeah, Woshi Jianzi Hao for St. John's.
Karthus banned, actually.
Yeah, but Karthus
and the Kha'Zix. I mean, okay, fair enough. So are we going to see it? If there's ever a moment to bring it out, it's going to be in this final game right here.
Unless they pull it out in the playoff match.
That's true.
Because it is getting through, and he's going to show off his Kayn skill set instead. Kayn, heavy, hard carry jungler, heavy resource intensive, but if he gets ahead, very difficult to play against, especially if you're playing Assassin Kayn. It's just blue Kayn. You're able to just walk right in, get a kill, and then leave. And it's almost like not as helpful in team fights, but when you're split pushing by yourself, if you're ever on an island like the Vladimir might be, you can't go that far without coordinating with the rest of your team. Braum going to be the pickup for the bottom lane. So Braum, Ezreal lane, this kind of preventative of damage. Ezreal does proc the concussive blows passive with Mystic Shots, because Mystic Shot does do on-hit damage, even though it is a skill, not an auto attack. So could be a strong lane there for the bottom side of Marquette. And the Vel'Koz locked in. So Vel'Koz going to the mid lane. In the top lane, it will be Vladimir. Yep. So you're lacking a true tank, someone to be on the front line. But again, if you lack the true tank, you're okay with getting champions that buy time with their skill set. When you have Sanguine Pool on the Vladimir, where he goes under untargetable, not able to be hit, you buy time. Zhonya's fits into the build with the Vladimir as well. So you get a little bit of this pseudo front line with the Vlad. On the opposite side, please be patient. Locking in the Renekton. He's talked about it before. We have multiple quotes on him.
I still only play Renekton.
That's a multi-quote quote, which is why we're doing all the quotes.
Multiple quotes.
We have the quotes.
We have the quote. We'll fly it up on the screen at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And so Renekton locked in. And so this matchup on the top side, very please be patient sided early on. Once Renekton gets on in, it really doesn't matter if you use Sanguine Pool earlier. Renekton doesn't run out of resources, whereas the resource for Vladimir is HP. So there's a large amount of burst damage that a Renekton can deal if it's not calculated correctly by Nova's Chosen on the top side of the map. It'll be difficult for them to facilitate the Vladimir getting out of the lane.
My big question, I think, is going to revolve around how this composition is played out with the Sona, with that, because obviously the ability to help sustain in lane, but then also help facilitate these engages, whether it be with the ult, whether it be with the boost. And when you have other champs like the Renekton who want to go in on this, that is some potential to just go from 0 to 100 real quick. Not necessarily like the traditional engage go button that we look for. I mean, the Sona ult can be that, but if you can actually get everybody else in there, they can follow up. That's potentially disastrous. But then you combine that with the Anivia, who traditionally wants to sit back and poke and all that fun stuff. Does it feel like there's some natural anti-synergy there, or is that my imagination?
I think it's more about getting ahead. Once they're ahead, you see the opposing team getting stuck under turret. And then once they're there, Anivia puts down her ult. It creates an area where now they can't stand there, and a very clear area where they will be standing, and Sona can flash ult.
That's
right
true.
onto the back line, right?
Yep.
So that is one way that you play it. And now if you're doing that in a major objective area like the Baron Pit, like the Dragon Pit, you create the area in the Dragon Pit. They're forced to either walk through it or go around. When they go around, again, very obvious where they're going to go. Easy ult for Sona to hit at least 2 people. And you want to make sure that your crescendo, which is on a massive cooldown, is effective. So you need to flash ult or make sure that you hit it so that and hit multiple people so that you can burst someone down and then kill them later on. And that's what you're looking for out of the play on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. And if we look towards the mid here as well, walk us through, I think, this mid match, because we've seen the Anivia played quite a bit here. And traditionally, the Anivia hasn't. I would be curious to see what the win rate of the Anivia is so far in this season, because I feel like it hasn't had a lot of success. A lot of these sort of reactive, not proactive mid laners haven't had the most success and very stationary, as I said, sort of sitting back. How do you feel like that's going to work against the Vel'Koz?
Yeah, difficult. It's difficult. Vel'Koz has a lot of range. It's very much like a Xerath type matchup where Anivia wants to fight people in a mid-range area. Not afraid of a close-range matchup either, but long-range matchups, very tough for Anivia because the range is short. You can't get in. Costs a lot of mana to step up and use all your skills. So we'll get to see if he's able to scale past the laning phase.
We'll see here as we get into game number 1. Seton Hall up against Marquette. Seton Hall securing themselves 4th place. They have secured the playoffs, but Marquette doesn't want to go out of the season on a loss. They want to show that, like every other team here, they know how to get those W's.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
I hate losing my W's.
I know, right? The alphabet only has 25 letters now. Wouldn't know what to do.
That caught me a little late. That was good.
Not bad.
So early on here, teams are going to play it slow. No one wants to give away the early lead. No early game shenanigans. But again, Seton Hall trying to work on a couple of synergy things, and they need to pick fights, and I want them to play a little bit faster because the tempo of a team like DePaul is so fast. They get a kill, and then they transition it into an objective and do a good job of shoving waves and forcing the opponent to decide, do we give up waves and fight this objective, or do we give up free objectives? And next thing you know, a team like DePaul has multiple Drakes, and you're forced into a fight later on in the game with Elder Dragon. It's just, I need them to play faster and then make the right decision in terms of taking the fight or not. Brady Hayes is a great player, very aggressive, and his aggression might lead Seton Hall, the team, down the wrong path.
That's something that we've seen multiple junglers do over the course of the season. Get a little bit of tunnel vision, sensing a little bit of, smell blood in the water. Want to go in, get those kills, and bring the rest of the team, unfortunately, with them into some not necessarily positive positions. As we're already seeing quite a bit of poke damage going back and forth between Foe the Fall and Nummy Warrior here in the mid. Keep an eye on this lane matchup as we progress, because it's not one we see a whole lot.
No, it's not, and you can see that's kind of how it works. Like, Nummy Warrior gets an auto attack off, and Foe the Fall just has more damage on Plasma Fission, using the good old trigonometry to get max range on it. Ooh. And that's going to be the game right there. Nummy Warrior is going to be forced to either back further away or step up. When he steps up, Vel'Koz will be able to get at least a combo down. Void Rift going down on the ground, has 2 pops on it. And the Plasma Stack, the organic deconstruction, it leads to that burst damage. And it's going to be a tough matchup here for Nummy Warrior without support assistance. Seton Hall is going to want to power farm, probably not gank all that much, which means it'll be tough for the side of Seton Hall to get this going in the mid lane. Yeah,
Seton Hall really just wanting to push towards level 6 right there. Owen walking into his jungle, realizing that, hey, hang on a second, somebody's been here. And now Seton Hall is going through onto Owen, doing a lot of that great initial damage. Flag and drag forced to retreat right now for Owen, as we do see Nummy Warrior and Foe the Fall still going toe-to-toe. Nice return damage. But I love this. That was completely caught off guard. If you're Owen right there, you were not expecting your jungle to be in that situation.
Yeah, and good play by Nummy Warrior to rotate first as well to cut off Foe the Fall and dish a little bit of damage back. And that's how I think you're going to find damage by Nummy Warrior. It's when Foe the Fall gets a little smart, trying to ward, trying to rotate first. You can catch him out, get a bit of chunk damage down, and just continue to farm and survive through the laning phase. This is a Vel'Koz dominated lane. Nummy Warrior just needs to pick up some CS.
Sit back, make sure he just doesn't get picked off here. Please be patient, of course, up top with his Renekton, one of those champions he's oh so comfortable on. And we've seen Renekton actually have a lot of success traditionally in Collegiate if it's not shut down, if it's able to just sit in these fights, the slice and dice, the dominance, everything about it. It's just able to sustain on through and just horrendous amounts of damage, as we're seeing even right now. Novus, I mean, please be patient, I think he could have woven a couple more autos in there, but he's already looking very confident in this matchup up against a Vladimir who traditionally does quite well in lane.
Yeah, but that's not the case in this matchup.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the case here. Renekton is such a strong early lane dominant champion. Vladimir needs a couple items to be to be efficient and get his sustain up. Until that point, the wave clear is weak, the regen is weak. It's just relatively weak, and so Nova's Chosen has to play smart, further back, need to know when he's able to transfusion, get the stacks up so he gets the double stack, the fully empowered transfusion to get in that lane.
He does indeed. It's going to be some math going on there to make sure he's got enough HP going on to survive on through what the Renekton's going to be dishing out. As we're seeing in the mid, though, somebody who is not surviving, it is Nummy Warrior, forced back. As you mentioned, this Vel'Koz doing such a great job of keeping up the poke and making sure this Anivia is not going to be comfortable here, which means if you decide to Seton Hall, you're going to have to look towards another one of these lanes. This Renekton is going to be one of them, but already Quentin, Nee, and Vice doing a pretty good job in their matchup.
Yeah, and Foe the Fall is no one to be slept upon. Again, in their victory earlier in the season, he was the focal point, and in games that he's done well, Marquette has had a fantastic opportunity, and when he does poorly, they fall apart. There are other players that can fall apart, but right now, he's the one that needs to carry the load. And Owen getting onto the back line, and Vice trying to stay in it.
Vice trying to stay in it. There is another TP coming in here as well. Please be patient, has joined the fray. That is the TP from Seton Hall. Both top laners are going to be joining in right now, and no kills for either side. The Seton survived for so long, not focus firing, not prioritizing, trying to get a little bit too greedy there was the side of Marquette, trying to get the carry as well. And now that means that a lot of resources burned for no rewards.
Yeah, overall, I think a positive trade here for Seton Hall. Seton Hall, the jungler Brady Hayes on the top side of the map wasn't a part of that engage, gets to shove in the wave into the top turret, pick up a whole wave of CS, and if you look at the CS numbers right now, 48 CS to 24 in the jungle role, but now Nummy Warrior in a bit of trouble.
Owen is going in, and we do have the egg being there. Popped up and down for the fall. Having some fun here as Seton Hall, though, is actually looking to go right on in under this, try and get a counter kill, but a kill that'll actually matter here. Spo the Fall diving back underneath the turret is going to be able to survive, and Nummy Warrior is still here.
Yeah, and again, with the knowledge that Owen was in the mid lane and chunked down a bit, Seton Hall can start roaming onto the bottom jungle. Fall taking a big chunk of damage, forced to flash away.
Forced to use the flash here. Great play there by Nummy Warrior, using all of his mana to get that done, but forcing back the Vel'Koz. Beautiful play there from them. That ice wall perfectly timed to keep him out of range. The rebirth there to keep him going through all of that. And Nummy Warrior just doing solid in this lane matchup in what should not be favorable to him.
Right, and again, this is about where it needs to be. I think Foe the Fall misplayed that one just a bit. If he would have been able to stay in lane, that's about a whole 8 to 10 minions that he misses out on, and that's the correct gold lead. About 2 minion wave, 14 to 15 gold, which is 15 CS, which is about 300 gold, a kill's worth of gold. That's what you're looking at, and so a mistake like that by Foe the Fall, stepping up, getting in engage range by Nummy Warrior, taking damage from the Glacial Storm. It forces him back, and all that lead that he built up for the first 7 minutes of the game basically disappears.
Does indeed, and now we're seeing the power of Seton Hall, the jungler, who is able to go on through and make these aggressive plays, whether it be in the mid, whether it be in the opposing team's jungle. He is able to keep up that pressure, and that's exactly what we've come to expect from this player. He is somebody who leads his team from the front. He is not a general that leads from behind by any stretch, as we've constantly seen him making these big plays and setting up kills, not only for himself, but for his team.
Right now, checking it out. It's been a little slow since the early aggression. The TP's burned, and again, the biggest winner out of all that is Seton Hall. You take a look, he has a 550 gold bounty on his head, and this is based off of straight CS. And Seton Hall getting closer and closer to picking a form. Is he going to go Shadow Kane, or will he go Rast? Almost ready for an evolution, but not quite there just yet. And again, I think it depends on what kind of build he's going and how he wants to play the champ. Hasn't decided that one yet. The Mountain Drake is up and should be the next objective, but both teams very happy with farming up and getting to a more suitable items of the game. And I think that's something you see in lower skilled matches. You want to fight once you get your item, because then you know you're strong and you know how much damage you're going to be dealing. But when you're in between items, what's the difference between not having a long sword and having a ruby crystal? Like, that is where the nitty-gritty numbers come in, and you find players that know their champions and know their limits much better, and I think that's what we're kind of seeing right now. We know these guys know their limits at a certain point, and Vice able to flash away, but now in a lot of trouble.
Forced to use the ult as well, but that is the Cataclysm going in, locking down Advice and getting first blood, getting over to the Ezreal as well. Nicely done from Marquette, but simultaneously in the mid lane, we actually Foe the Fall picking up a kill. So there it is, 2 quick kills going over to Marquette in unison. Seton Hall starting this off on the wrong foot. Walk us through this gank again. It was textbook.
Yeah, just no vision control on the bottom side of the map. Walks right up, waits for the flash, does Owen, and then gets the kill. All the while, currently, another kill in the picture-in-picture on the top side of the map. Basically in the mid lane, Foe the Fall, Disintegration Ray onto Dummy Warrior. He died. Seton Hall shows up, the jungler onto Foe the Fall too far up, already used flash, nowhere to go, gets picked off, and so Seton Hall, the jungler, getting closer and closer to evolution, finding himself a kill.
Is indeed. That was absolutely massive for Seton Hall, starting to bring back some of that kill momentum there. Still a nice solid gold lead here for Seton Hall throughout all this as we look towards the CS. Still very much in favor of Seton Hall at this stage of the game, though no massive deficits like we saw in our last series. We saw multiple 100 kill differentials at the 15-minute mark. I don't think we're going to be seeing anything like that here in this setup. But I have to say, I like that little bit of initiative there from Marquette. I love just bringing in the J4, classic gank, no vision, no call up from Seton Hall, picking up the support. You would have loved to have got the carry, but still at the end of the day, that's exactly the kind of play they need to be making.
Dummy Warrior getting fully chunked by all 3 stacks of plasma by Vel'Koz's organic deconstruction. It just deals so much damage. It's very annoying. Very, very annoying. And you can see Dummy Warrior now have to take the long way around. He's getting zoned off by his wave. Just makes it difficult to play through. Again, this lane is very tough, and you commend Dummy Warrior for having a CS lead. He did die once, but it's expected. It's expected out of this lane.
It is. I mean, again, you can see the poke damage that Foe the Fall is able to dish out here. It's definitely one of those times where Dummy Warrior is going to be needing a little bit more support here, so I'm definitely going to look towards Seton Hall to go in and continue doing what he's doing, keeping up that pressure here. Because while the Anivia is one of those great late-game scaling champs, if you let them get behind early, which they're not, but if they do get behind early, it's a long time before they're able to reach the mass you want them to be.
For the junglers, still hovering around on the bottom side of the map is Owen. They do have the bush control warded. You feel like Quentin E and Advice, no, here it comes, flag and drag, 2 people knocked up, 1 getting slammed, jammed, Advice goes down, you know he doesn't have flash.
Whoa!
Sable Shadow able to pick it up though, flipping tables for Shadow. Holy
tables for Sable, my dear friend, come on.
All right,
Get
I
the
got
copy
excited.
pass to correct.
Yeah. Flip the tables to help out Sable, 2 kills.
That was absolutely massive. That true shot barrage was sick, connecting beautifully there. And then the last Q to finish that up, absolutely perfect. However, we are seeing a little reinitiation coming in from Seton Hall right now. Look towards Sable Shadow.
Help him.
I don't think any tables are going to be the assistance right now. It is the shutdown, and now Please Be Patient is joining. The Lifeform Disintegration Ray is there, finding the stun, finding the shutdown onto the Kane, and now Please Be Patient, though. He's the big bad they need to deal with. Goes gold is Dummy Warrior trying to survive a little bit longer using Please Be Patient's body to force them right back on back. The Dominus is there as well as the Slicing and Dyson. Please Be Patient looking to try and get it. There's the flash, the stun, the follow-up. Please Be Patient is going off.
Yeah, it's his time right now, and it was a very awkward ult there by Foe the Fall. Foe the Fall saying the humans are dead with their life disintegration ray. Unfortunately, he does it right in the middle of the croc. Please Be Patient, just running amok right in the dragon pit. No one wants to take the Drake though. They just run right back to lane. However, after a good start by Sable, gets turned around, the Bounty Gold heading on over to Seton Hall. Probably one of the guys that you don't want it to go to because he can just run in and assassinate you, either on Rast or Dark Shadow Kane.
Good damage from Seton Hall. The back of that into the bot turret here. Marquette still needs to respond to that. A solid gold lead still going in favor of Seton Hall, despite all the back and forth. Please Be Patient, of course, with a 600 bounty on his head now. 2-0-1, the winnings of the game. However, the one thing I have to note is the fact that 3 of these key kills have gone over to the Ezreal. That has been absolutely massive. Marquette, whether through, you know, solid player coincidence, been able to get that lined up. However, in the mid, Foe the Fall is going to fall here most likely. No, Nami Warrior committing a lot of resources to that.
Nami
getting a little bit too hungry here for this kill.
Whoa. Yeah, Nami just thinking he could flash kill. Instead, he just flashes, and now he finds himself in a lot of trouble.
Flash right now.
He could have. Now the bird.
Really? You needed to use the ult for that for the fall? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if Nami Warrior gets up and is able to get a frostbite out, that's a lot of damage. So.
You know what else is a lot of damage?
Kane.
Oh, nice knockout. Oh, that was absolutely sick. The Cataclysm was there. Nobody trapped this. Oh, the miscommunication. If Vel'Koz had been on the outside of that, that would have been a somewhat different story.
Nah,
I mean, Dark Insight's still kind of annoying.
Yeah, I think he was able to pull out the ult, use the Umbral Trespass to get into the Vel'Koz anyways. A little tough there. I think it was good knockup by Owen. He followed up with the ult as fast as he could. Unfortunately, Foe the Fall just shouldn't be that far up. Knows that he's a target. We do have ourselves a scary Kane, though.
We do have a scary Kane. We have members of the side of Seton Hall, which are starting to become a real threat. The one we're looking at on our screen right now, the big scary Croc. Of course, the Renekton, please be patient, who's not being patient in this game. He is going all in on these kills. And then Seton Hall, the jungler, is also doing a lot of work here. Looking forward to seeing how he's going to transition this towards the mid to late game, because once that ult goes down, it changes the way you have to play these fights.
Yeah, and it'll be very difficult as he is level 12 compared to his opposite side. Owen's been around the map and facilitating. He's level 9 right now. This is literally the Seton Hall Brady Hayes show. And he needs to continue putting on episode after episode if he wants his team to be successful.
Is this like one of those long-standing anime series, or more like the Truman Show? I need to know. Well, maybe we'll find out in a second here. Oh, Seton Hall getting knocked back there just a second. Foe the Fall is still just gone.
Yeah, Seton Hall is just running wherever he wants to go. The smite slowing down Foe the Fall in place. He doesn't have that much mobility, and he keeps trying to pick these fights against the Anivia. He needs to wait for the rest of his team. Now, Owen might be picking off more than he could chew. Literally this coming in literally late. Owen stays alive. Good usage there of his keystone. Able to stay up, and a little bit too aggressive there by Owen.
A little bit too aggressive, but neither side able to get that big kill. It was a really nice ult coming in from literally this as well. To try and slow that ult down, was able to do so. The team was not able to convert it in any serious kills. Owen, I have to say, I'm going to say his name incorrectly at some point during this game. Might as well get it over with. Owen has been doing a fantastic job with the Flag and Dre, trying to connect onto that. His Cataclysms generally have been pretty darn solid. I'm just looking for them to convert these a little bit more and the team to follow up, because it feels like he knows what he wants to do. He knows he wants to go in, but the rest of the team, not quite on the same page.
Yeah, not quite at all. And I think maybe they're trying to pick up from where Foe the Fall had left off, and it's like, hey, look, we need to get something going, otherwise we're going to start falling behind. But there was no damage behind him. The only thing that was near him was literally this, the Braum support. So you need to make sure that your damage dealers are near you. Right now, Sable Shadow's done a good job farming up 3 1-1, stacking up his Muramana, but Foe the Fall has to do better. 1-4, and it's the same gank. It's Deja Vu.
It's Deja Vu. Same thing we have done before, and that is another kill going over into Seton Hall. He's got this path down on lock. Despite the Vladimir being here, it does not matter. Literally, this might try and chase this down, but he's going to be walking into his death if he goes too far. Sable Shadow is here. Advice is going to be the target. Sona, though, not the easiest one to kill at this stage. Owen is going in, but a nice flash from Advice. Oh, big ult, though, not going to secure the kill, but that is the killing spree. Patient, not being patient anymore, killing the Vlad and going in and diving into Owen. The Dominus being dominant right now, locking him on in with the wall, flashing over it, though. Please be patient, taking a lot of turret shots throughout, but that's still going to be the kill. Seton Hall is on a rampage, and that is the school going off. The turret's going to drop for a good measure.
Yeah, the school's going off behind the players' play. Seton Hall, Brady Hayes leading that one off, and Sable Shadow wanted to pick up the kill and dish the damage, but he forgot, hey, look, right behind me is Quentin He and Advice, the support bot lane duo of Seton Hall, showing up at the fight one more time. Again, we've seen this gank 3 times. I think 3 or 4 times. And Foe the Fall has done a good job the first couple times to fight through the pathing, but then right after that, he gets chunked down. A good wall gets dropped, I think, in a bit. No. Literally, this gets a nice Winter's Bite down. And then after this, Sable Shadow just kind of tunnels in. Owen wants to go in, but you know that there is a bot lane right behind you. It's Please Be Patient and Quinn E coming to clean up. And it's just too easy after that. Literally this, good flash away, stayed safe for some time, and then Please Be Patient. This is just him being so far ahead. He should die there. I think it should be the reward. Braum played that one very well, unfortunately. Not going to work out for him. Good dive by Seton Hall, and they push their lead. Score 12-6.
They do indeed. Doubling the kills of their opponent now, going up almost 10K. Well, not quite 10K gold here. Marquette is still in this one. If they can continue to look to try and scale the late game of Ezreal, as we all know, can be an absolute monster. However, at this stage, the Sivir is just going to be very tough to deal with, especially, Foe the Fall is just falling repeatedly here. Every single time he thinks he's comfortable in lane, Seton Hall and Nummy Warrior are there shutting them down. That is 6 deaths. That is like 6 too many deaths.
It's 6 too many deaths, and I think we've spent a lot of time talking about Brady Hayes, the jungler, but to be honest, Advice is the unsung hero of Seton Hall. He hard carries most of these games, and he just hasn't gotten going right now at 0-2-2, but he's definitely set up his support, or his support 80 carry at 1-1-3.
Definitely has done so. Sivir very much just sitting back farming, having a good time, letting the rest of the team do exactly what they are supposed to do, keeping up that pressure. This is a TP up the top, though. This is going to be some committal right now from this Renekton, looking to continue up the pressure right now. We are seeing Vayne on the other side. So this is simultaneous split invades from the entire side of Seton Hall. Your jungle, Marquette? My jungle, says Seton Hall.
Yeah, and it's very difficult right now for Marquette to continue to find fights without vision. They need to get vision down, which means they need to spend money on it, which means they're delaying their item spikes, which means they're dishing less damage in these fights that they're trying to find. It's just a compounding issue. And you can see even Seton Hall, Brady Hayes, the jungler, still has a sweeper, 28 ward score, a 2 ward score right now for Sable Shadow. That's something immediately that he could be improving upon. Sometimes it's worth it to sell a couple items and always have 2 control wards in your inventory, because it's not about just the fact that the ward is up, but when the ward dies, you should put it in a place where it'll keep you safe, which means the opposing team will find it. But when it does, think of it as an extra life. Your extra life costs you 75 gold. You didn't have to see the gray screen for 20, 30 seconds, lose pressure.
Yep.
So making sure you utilize these wards is so important right now. Marquette could do a better job of it. However, they're doing a good job of engaging, and there goes the carry of the team. Advice down. Please be patient. Next on the menu will be able to slide his way out. The Croc stays alive. Shift forward, catching out Nummy Warrior, and Nummy Warrior's egg gets cooked. It's another kill heading over to Marquette.
Please be patient. That was on the flank. Please be patient. No, he says he finds Owen. There's the stun and the knockdown as well. Unstoppable gets out of the fight and looks to just go back in, finding the flank, finding the stragglers. Kane is there as well, getting pinged out. There is awareness of him, and this is a low Vladimir. Nova's chosen is the one being chosen to go down right now. Sanguine Pool is there, but it's not going to be enough. Or maybe it will. It's Foe the Fall is there, keeping Seton Hall alive, trying to get himself out. Can he get the kill? Yes, he does. There's the shutdown. Foe the Fall, that was your moment.
Yeah, 2, 6, and 4, doesn't matter. 1,000 gold bounty going right back to him. And now Sable Shadow going 1-1 against Quinn E, trying to find his time, forcing the flash out. And Sable Shadow gonna flash forward. He's feeling frisky, will pick this one up. Sable Shadow, how many tables just got flipped? Great play there in front of his parents. 14-10 is your score, but momentum shifting back to the side to the Golden Eagles.
And in a moment, Marquette is back in this game. Seton Hall, they had it all under control, but then Brady Hayes, feeling a little bit overconfident, a little bit overzealous, a little bit over-eager, goes on in, tries to make a play, and baits his entire team, bringing over the gold in a large silver platter right to his opponents. And now this is the opportunity for Marquette to put their stamp on this one.
Yeah, Marquette, though, still down a decent amount of gold. I think it's going to take a couple of more good team fight choices here from Marquette, bad team fight choices from Seton Hall, and capitalization by the Golden Eagles to close the gap here. But you're buying time to continue to scale if you are the side of Marquette. I think it was a smart decision to continue to go the blue build here for Ezreal, so you do have the tier stacking up. He stops building the AP items of the tier to finish building the Vampiric Scepter into the Blade of the Rune King, so you go a little bit more upfront damage and continue the scaling later on. Quinton E and Seton Hall need to be a little bit more patient with their fight selection. Maybe followed along with a top laner of theirs that believes in that virtue of life. And also believes in being pleasant while asking others to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So hopefully that Seton Hall will be able to continue to grow and learn from this. But right now it looks like patience isn't on the menu.
Patience is a virtue after all. So we're seeing the setup now coming in from Seton Hall, baiting out this Baron. And Owen is up on the front line. Literally, this is there as well. There's the ice wall, trying to split the team, not able to do so. Vladimir is not here yet. Won't likely be in this fight. Just some TP available should he want it, but he is close enough to probably just get himself into this fight. No real vision, though, of what is going on. Seton Hall very smartly, though, not getting too low, trying to take this at this stage in the game. This Baron does hurt very hard. And could set themselves up for a massive throw pit should they try and overcommit on that and they get jumped on. We've seen it before. Yeah,
we've seen it before. Baron is just, it's very scary for that. Like, sometimes it's better not to do Baron. Let's not do Baron. Let's not give them a way to catch us out and have an additional damage dealer against us.
Let's not say we did.
Yeah. You could fit, and that's actually really good. Let's not say we did, so that they show up and then we catch them out in a fight.
Exactly.
Just do the Baron dance. Do the Baron dance.
They really thought they were doing it.
Learn the tango.
That was the Ezreal ult. There was a legitimate concern that that was happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's checking. I think if they were really concerned, they would be running face first into it the way that Braum is right now. Luckily for Braum, who's clearing out the wards, he's he didn't run into a face first full of Nami Warrior and Seton Hall, the player, and the jungler, and the who's the same, and the team. Brady Hayes,
curse you!
Curse you!
You and your trolling of us casters with your confounded name.
Stay a while.
Stay a while.
14 to 10 is the score. 26 minutes into the match.
I will not say that.
The Baron dance is continuing here up top. Advice going to clear out some wards. But again, this helps the side of Marquette as Ezreal is continuing to scale, get a little bit larger. Items being placed down for Foe the Fall as well. And Vladimir gets annoying late game. One way to stop that, though, is Seton Hall.
Can't sanguine pool when I'm right there with you, buddy, taking him for a ride. Now the rest of Seton Hall is going to look to go on in. Nova Chosen going gold, but a nice ult from the Braum coming out there as well. And the follow-up with the True Shot Barrage, the heal there to top them all up from the Sona. I feel like Seton Hall might want to still fight this. The Vladimir actually did walk away.
Yeah, Vladimir walked away. Flash burned by Nova's Chosen to get himself out of trouble. I like the play and I like the ability to peel, but now with all those spells down, they walk face first back into Brady Hayes, and he says, thank you very much. And we'll walk back on over to the Baron. I don't think he's going to be dancing anymore. I think it's time to get on in and start throwing some fists.
Give him the old 1-2.
Catch these hands.
Catch these hands.
Bro.
Catch me outside. That's exactly it. As now we see what's... unless... once again, okay! We've seen so many J4s pull this off, and it's absolutely wild. Every single time he now throws down the Cataclysm, but the job has been done. That was the steal they were looking for. That's what's keeping him in it.
We've seen so many J4s try. Owen pulling that one off. That was massive for him, and he's in a huge deficit in terms of smite damage. There's no reason for him to steal that because Seton Hall's been power farming, has almost 200 more damage on his smite, was able to steal that one away. Big play there by Owen, and a little bit of complacency creeping into the side of Seton Hall. And although these plays, yes, someone dies, it is continually buying time for Marquette to continue to scale.
I mean, it is. I mean, look towards this Ezreal in the late game. It's going to be so tough to deal with. We're already starting to see the True Shot Barrage hit like a truck. And now it's the fact that they're going to be able to push this out. 4 members still alive with that Baron buff. That's going to be massive. Yeah, like a Mack truck, exactly. As, I mean, still, this was the momentum crusher. This was Seton Hall looking like they had everything going for them, everything in the world. And now, Marquette, while they're not necessarily back in this game, quote unquote, they are still in a much better position to hold on.
That's right. They are slowly taking over the driver's seat. But I dislike this. I dislike this so very much. You have Baron. What's Baron's power? empowering minions. Where are minions? In lanes. Where are they not? In the jungle. Please get out of the jungle. Please put some pressure somewhere else. Literally this, be literally anywhere else.
Forced to use his ult in response. He knows he's just going to die. The Anivia able to solo him out, no problem. Dropping the wall, dropping the ult, and getting him nice and, I was going to say frosty. And that's exactly an adjective that would describe that one.
Yes. That is how I would feel if I got hit by a glacial storm or a glacial fissure.
Yeah, I mean, you think he'd be used to it?
No.
No?
I mean, he has no hair on his head. I feel like that's
pretty important. Like, a lot of your body heat escapes to the top of your head.
That's right.
I think I found a critical problem with Brum's character design.
Yes.
Yes.
Unless they're saying he's so strong that even the loss of heat from the hair on his head that is lacking doesn't stop him from being a very nice, jolly man.
Glad you knew exactly where you're going with that one. Just like Please Be Patient knows exactly where he's going in these lanes as he finds 2 members of Marquette and gets himself out right on over the wall, not wanting to try and chase that one down. As this Baron buff just being so annoying for Seton Hall because they would have loved to do a ton of pushing with this, and now they're just stagnated. I mean, the Sivir's farming, which is great, but like, still.
Yeah, Sivir is getting bigger and bigger, and that lead that Sable Shadow was able to cultivate starting to shrink. Still up a good 700 gold, but when you have 10,000 gold, 700 doesn't sound as much as it was when it was around 5,000 gold apiece. So now with these players starting to close on in, I need to see Marquette group up and use the power of Baron. They are continually going into the jungle. This is fine to clear out clear out the wards on their side of the map, but they need to use the Baron buff to break down mid-turret. They have not gotten the space on the map that is needed so that they can make plays. They've got to use this Baron buff to its full potential. And look at this, they're gonna lose gold, lose a turret while they have Baron. Marquette needs to be a little bit more aggressive, but in the lane.
This is not a situation you want to be in where you're losing those turrets despite the fact that you have Baron and Power minions. We are seeing multiple. I mean, this is just better macro from Seton Hall right now. I think this is all this can be stated as. This is, wow, nice reaction from Quintney. That is literally just, they're taking simultaneous turrets here, and it just seems like Marquette's always responding. They're never the one dictating the pace. They're never the one trying to set these things up. It always just seems like they're chasing around Seton Hall, and when eventually Seton Hall turns, like looks over their shoulder and goes, oh, you're here, hello, and that's when the fight breaks out. And sometimes Marquette does okay, but they're never the ones ahead of the game.
Yeah, and I think with the Baron now done, it was all about not understanding how to use the Baron. Maybe it's because the first time Marquette's had Baron in quite some time as a team. You've got to fight in the lane. You cannot get distracted by the dragon or any other objectives, because that's the kind of fight Seton Hall wants. They want to fight you when they're not stuck under turret. When you have Baron empowered minions. Minions got changed during the preseason. They deal so much more damage, especially if they're Baron empowered. So I think a little bit of a hiccup here from Marquette. I think that is one of the major reasons why that they weren't able to transition that Baron into anything.
And now this is opening up more opportunities for Seton Hall to continue to extend their lead. They're just going to continue to farm. They do have that hyper late game scaling of that Anivia. And of course the Kayn, the Sivir, Renekton. I mean, this is a composition that is more than happy to take it late, especially because they have pretty solid gold bounties already on these key characters, these key champions. I mean, we're looking towards the Renekton already. 1,000 gold to his name on that bounty.
Yeah, Please Be Patient has played very well. Very, very well on one of the champions he's most comfortable on. Now Owen.
Now Owen's between a rock and a hard place, or
between
an ice wall, but in the mid.
No!
Seton Hall.
This is what you hate to see as a fellow AD carry player, because this is what happens. Seton Hall just gets to farm up his own jungle and then run at you and kill you. And there's nothing you can do. He goes through walls. It's awful. It's terrible. It's the worst. I'm flipping a table for you. Sorry, Sable.
This desk is bolted down. Dagon.
You cannot hold back my anger compared to a Shadow Kayn. It's the worst. It's so bad.
It is pretty annoying, not going to lie. And that's the moment that every AD carry fears. You walk out of your base and right into the guy who's about to assassinate you. And look at how much damage Seton Hall has at their disposal right now. They do pick up the Baron. There is not a chance in the world that Owen is going to try and go back in and contest that one. He's not having a prayer. But now what we do have is Baron empowered minions coming the way of Seton Hall. They have the push, they have the macro, they have the damage. We have the technology. And they are now going to look to try and close out this game. We can rebuild him.
I'm using old references for Flight
Look, man,
of the Conchords.
RoboCop is always relevant, all right? Just saying. Just saying.
Dragon's going to be up. That's what I'm just saying. 34 minutes in, 18-10, gold lead sitting at 8,000 right now. I think Owen might be looking for another steal, but they should be looking for a team fight. Seton Hall shouldn't be taking this. They should be in lane using the Baron power. To be honest, they can take it because they're so far ahead. It's close, but
close. But no cigars, they say.
Yeah, Smite does more damage. Now Seton Hall on the run. You see this?
Oh,
it's
that's
just
so terrifying.
It's so awful. Nova Chose is like, I can't run that fast. I can't run through walls. This is awful.
And now he's just gonna die. Oh, that's just, I mean, okay. He goes back in, he goes gold, tries to fight a little bit longer, and we do actually the Cataclysm with 2-man. Nicely done. However, Seton Hall's still sitting in a really good spot. Literally, this is stuck in a rough position. The Fisher will go down, the Ice Wall to block in his path, though, and that is now 3 members dead for the side of Marquette as they're continuing into all the flashes committed onto this Vel'Koth in the mid. Who is the foe who fell? If you are Seton Hall, pushing in onto this inhib turret, Ezreal, the last man standing, the committal. No, not finding the ice wall. A lot of resources there, though, but please be patient. It's so mobile at this stage of the game. The inhib will fall, but Sable Shadow doing a good job to continue to kite the team back underneath these inhib turrets. However, they still have more than enough resources. They said they wanted to end this game with these Baron-empowered minions. They're going to do just that, and that is going to be it. That is going to be all she wrote for game number 1. Seton Hall takes it. That's GG.
So Seton Hall taking care of business. Relatively clean, made a couple of missteps that slowed down the game a bit. Marquette finding fights that they liked, but unfortunately wasn't going to be enough. Good play out of Seton Hall to move them on to 1-0 in this final matchup of our regular season.
Yeah, managed to get themselves up in that final match. Marquette had a couple of moments there. They got that sick Baron steal. They got a couple great picks in mid, but just couldn't convert it into anything. Every single time it seemed like they were, putting their best foot forward, able to make a little thing happen. They couldn't convert it into something else. It seemed like they just stopped and like, great, we got it. And back to laning, back to farming, back to something else, and not back to actually making a positive impact. Dragon, not back to a positive impact on the map. But that's only game number 1. We're going to hop on to a short break. When we return, maybe we'll see some improvement game number 2 or some more Seton Hall. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our final game of the regular season. It is Marquette taking on Seton Hall here for the Big East Collegiate League of Legends regular season. I'm Paul and Baron Todd Kill, joined as always by Daniel Digon Gonzalez, who looks so happy to be here.
Hi, it's me. I'm happy to be here. I'm Daniel Digon Gonzalez. Hello.
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 Hello. We've had so many amazing games this season. We've had so many amazing series today included. Yeah. We saw DePaul take down Villanova. We saw Butler take down Providence. And now Seton Hall is only 1 game away from taking it over Marquette yet again. And despite the fact that we can see no immediate changes to the standings, these teams are having a lot of fun in this final set, and I love it.
Yeah, we got to see aggressive play out of Sable Shadow, and it feels good to see him, who's been under a lot of fire, under critique, made some difficult decisions early on, and make the wrong ones sometimes as well. Get to truly be the aggressor in the bot lane on the Ezreal, picked up multiple kills, was sitting at 4-1 for quite some time, and play aggressively against a bot lane led by Advice at the support role for Seton Hall.
Of course,
and be on the front foot. It was really cool to see.
It was cool. I mean, let's take a look at the highlights from that last game, actually. While we're at it, we can talk over some of this lovely gameplay. It all started down here in the bottom. It started with some plays like this that should have resulted in a lot more than they did. Oop. But it didn't seem like there was much conversion that was able to happen. And this was the kind of the criticism that I had for the side of Marquette, was they had some of these great moments, but they just couldn't chain them all together. Yeah, and it started with this major TP play by Please Be Patient, able to get down to the bottom side of the map. And then this one right here, missed gank, flag and drag missing, but then here comes Please Be Patient one more time. He did a fantastic job showing up right on time on his champ. You start to run out of bans here because Please Be Patient, known as a Renekton player, you want to make sure he's not on that. Nummy Warrior comfortable on the Anivia. Seton Hall has so many junglers in his pocket, but this was such a great play by Owen. Another guy under fire, able to outsmite a guy that was multiple levels up on him. But then final fight right here, Nova's Chosen just
can't deal with the Kane. Shadow Kane moves so incredibly fast when he walks through the walls, and it was just all business from there.
Oh, it was. I mean, that was a great fight there. You saw for Seton Hall, they were just able to chain it all together. I mean, once Please Be Patient kind of got to that critical mass, he just pops his ult, goes on in, slices and dices, having a ball, and that's kind of what you expect to see there in that situation. It's interesting because we talked about Brady Hayes, Seton Hall, the jungler for Seton Hall multiple times over the course of that match. We actually have a quote from him here, giving a little bit more insight. And he says, without having fun, winning and playing, a game is void and null. Not how that expression goes, but I appreciate you, Brady, nonetheless.
Playing game is void and null. He forgot the A?
Well, it should be null and void, but yeah.
Oh.
Gotcha.
I thought you were talking about the A. You were talking about the null and void.
Yeah, he's talking about having fun and how important that is, D-Gon, and we're not going to crush his dreams. That is absolutely true. If you're not having fun, you're not playing.
He's having fun.
What's the point?
He got to play Kane. He got to walk through walls and go
he did
like
that same gang
700 movement speed.
He did that same gang 3 times.
Yeah, it happened a lot. And I think it shows in the gameplay of a lot of these kids, and especially throughout the whole league. Like, it's been fantastic to see guys pick up pocket picks, adjust their bans, find success, and it's been a lot of fun. And what better way than to cap it off here with Seton Hall Marquette.
And the viewers, you know, for those of you just joining us, I'm going to be familiar. We play on the live patch, so things have changed dramatically, even from week 1 to now. The amount of changes that we've seen over the last 7 weeks of play have been pretty impressive. So players have had to adjust their picks as the meta has shifted around them. And the teams that have been able to shift the fastest have often found a lot of success, or be able to bring out those pocket picks when they need to fill in that gap.
Yeah, well, funny that you see Brady Hayes saying, yeah, you know, making sure we have fun, and you're saying, yeah, patches, they have to adjust. Brady Hayes has played the same style of jungler every time. There's going to be some sort of carry come out of the jungler around 15 minutes.
He plays aggressive.
Hopefully my laners haven't fed so that we're good to allow me to carry them.
Well, we'll see if we can do it again as we get in the draft for game number 2. Look, the meta doesn't need to shift for you to play aggressive jungles who like to gank things, D-Gon. That ain't changed too much.
I guess we'll see what jungler they're going to carry with this time. I'm going to guess, let's go with the Kha'Zix. We'll see if Kha'Zix gets picked up. So Jace removed early on by Seton Hall. Rengar will be taken away. And let's double check the rosters just to make sure. No, Quanwar
is in.
He is in. This is his first time that I've seen him on the broadcast, so exciting. Sable Shadow going to stay on. It's just a 1-for-1 trade, so Nova's Chosen will be down on the bottom side of the map. Please be patient. One of the better performers will be taking him on. So, Quanwar, welcome to the league, son.
Look, I'm expecting big things. I'm expecting utter domination from Marquette. Coming into this because they have it's like, let's go have some fun at this point. Let's just go all in. Let's just go. Quanwar's here. I believe in this guy.
Yeah. I
talked to him once in Twitch chat, and like, we're best buds now.
Feels bad because that means they targeted banned his best champion, which was the Jace.
Oof.
You get one game and you just want to play that one champion, and the other team's like, no. That's it.
Nope,
so
that's
you
it.
just got to deal with it. Caitlyn taken away from Sable Shadow, which makes me disappointed as well.
Props to Seton Hall, though, to still do their research, know that this is somebody they're going to be playing up against, and to immediately, you know, to look into what he plays, figure that all out, and then you couldn't let him have some fun, Seton Hall?
No.
No fun allowed. This is the no fun zone. Welcome. Couldn't say that with a straight face. All right.
You did a good job.
I tried really hard. I like the fact that we're taking out a lot of these other picks, like the Kane, like the Orc. We've seen these champs take games on their shoulders repeatedly, last game included. The Alistair, first pick for Seton Hall, one of these staples down in the bot lane.
Yeah.
The combo goes on in, sets things up for the squad, also has a lot of HP to sit behind. And the Ezreal, still the staple of these teams.
Yeah, and I think it's good for Seton Hall to not to mess around too much with this first pick. Alistair consistently gets banned in higher level play, and so I think when you have the opportunity to practice it and practice team comp with it, if a team strategically leaves it up, you need to be ready to play it. Everyone goes like, okay, when you play in higher level, you're trying to knock down these tier list of champions, but then you gamble. Maybe they don't play it. Maybe they're not as comfortable on it. Maybe Brown Man Darius doesn't play Darius. Let's find out.
That would be the biggest troll.
You got to be ready. So
you do.
Advice doesn't have Alistair in his name, but Alistair is the top support currently in competitive play. So therefore, when you have the opportunity to play it, you got to have your hand ready. what an interesting team composition this is going to be. Heimerdinger and Yasuo picked up. Heimerdinger can go bot. Yasuo can go bot. Very flexible roster here from the side of Seton Hall. On the opposite side, Marquette has locked in the ugly monster Scion with Ezreal. So another Ezreal game for Sable Shadow. He looked impressive on that. And Owen going to stick with the J4. So some consistency here from Marquette.
I like this. The J4 has been a staple of our games, not only in the Collegiate, the Big East, but today particularly. We've seen a lot of stellar J4 play. We've seen some Cataclysms change the face of some of these fights, really lock these down. It just helps out the gank potential so much. Comes out of nowhere, boom. And Owen has done a fairly good job of landing those. His team just needs to make sure they're there to follow up with them.
Yeah, and I think on the opposite side, speaking about following up with them, Foe the Fall was close.
Pretty close. That was good.
Yeah. Foe the Fall needs to do a better job of understanding his limits. He was just playing a little bit too aggressive in that last matchup. Same gank over and over again for the Seton Hall landed. He needs to not be a feast or famine kind of guy. He needs to be more of a stable type mid laner. You had Sable Shadow rolling. Things were going well for him. Unfortunately, same gank puts him further behind. Now you're investing too many resources in the mid lane to try and fix the mid lane mess up. And from there, that's when the game broke for Marquette. They had a couple of opportunities after that. Didn't quite work out. Bans are Renekton to make sure Please Be Patient doesn't get to play that.
Yep.
And Silas, so no highly aggressive mid laner for Nummy Warrior, whose parents are watching. Hello, Nummy Warrior's parents. He told me to say hello. He's very happy that you guys are watching. Thank you for supporting him. Victor and Echo removed. Come on, don't make that face. Victor and Echo removed.
Wait.
Is this going to be a Shaco?
Wait. Hang on.
This is it.
Hang on. This is the moment. There's no Kali table. We'll talk about that in a bit. Hang on. All right. We're just gonna chill.
Oh, yeah!
There we go.
Hayes!
That was the longest
Brady
pause in my
Hayes!
life.
Way to go, brother. That's what's up, man.
Oh, my.
Oh, we just got an update. He picked this for myself, for you, and for our admin, Ducky.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Duckster.
Brady Hayes. So, reason why is because, I don't want that one.
No.
No, this with Teemo's not
No,
for me.
it's
I
not
don't
for
want
us.
this
Hang on,
Teemo.
hang on. No,
the blood of
producer, stop
Teemo's not
telling
on
me
my
that. Oh, hang
hands. I don't want this. Take these hands. You about to catch these hands. Wow. No.
Oh.
I'm so sad.
Okay, I get the best job in the world now because I get to turn to my expert analyst who knows this game inside and out, and I get to ask him with a straight face, Degon, how's this composition going to work?
Teemo's only on the map to visually represent space. That's it. You count measurements of units based off of how far they are from a Teemo. So it's like, man, that Baron fight was so close. If only Ezreal would have positioned 5 Teemos away. That's the only reason why he's on this game. I'm so upset that I have to do this. What is this? I'm very happy that Seton Hall, whose Shaco has been banned over and over again. But holy moly. It's a Teemo in a competitive match. Final picks for Nova's Chosen will be Pyke. I do like that. And I like Teemo
time! Thank you, chat.
Oh, no.
So, again, to remind everybody, this match is just for fun. This match does not affect standings at all. This is the final match of the season, out of the regular season for these guys. They're going in, having a bit of a blast, having some fun. And for all of you at home, hope you enjoy. Competitive integrity aside, I love the fact that Marquette also is just still going to dirty try hard this draft. I dig it. And then Seton Hall is going to play.
Marquette's team composition is very aggressive.
You got a J4 and a Kali, you're going to go have some fun.
Yeah, I like that, along with the fact that you have the Pyke that can, Nova's Chosen has been a noble steed to Sable Shadow. And so you need to reward him every now and then and get him to play a fun support as well. Pyke, very fun. Lots of opportunities to carry. You build damage, which you never get to do at support. So I kind of like that down there. It is an interesting matchup with the Yasuo. You have to get comfortable with his dashing around. That'll be very hard to land any bone skewers. But if he's able to get things going, if the ult from Pyke cannot be blocked by Windwall, and Ezreal is a good champion into that. Yes, Windwall goes up, but you have a spammable skill that you can use over and over again. It's very annoying, and during the cooldown of Windwall, you're able to find some damage as well.
Yeah, we'll see how that lane plays out. The Ezreal, if he can land those Mystic shots, can be super frustrating to deal with. And as you mentioned as well, the Pyke, those Bone Skewers are going to be constantly going to go through, look to try and set up those plays. Not going to have a ton of damage in the early game, but as this scales Pyke and Ezreal combined, that is a massive damage output if they cannot fall behind.
Yeah, and I'm a little upset because I was like, wow, look at this. Seton Hall taking this final game very, very seriously. They first picked the Alistair. It's going to be a great time for everybody. And instead, they just troll the rest of the draft, and now they'll get to find their limits here in our final regular season game of the Big East.
Let's get into it. Let's get into this last game. Marquette up against Seton Hall. Thank you all so much for those of you who joined us throughout the course of the season, and for those of us who are new, we appreciate you being there. If you guys haven't already, be sure to follow this Twitch channel, ESL_LOL, or hit us up on Twitter at ESL Collegiate, where you can catch up on all the action, all the great collegiate esports action here with League of Legends. We have the playoffs for Big East on March 17th. We're taking next week off, but you can find us back here again on the channel on March 17th, so be sure to give that a follow. And, big shout out to all of our players who put in all the work, the coaches, the staff, the schools over there. A lot of resources put into helping these players be at their best every single week, so got to give props to them.
Got to give props to them. And casting a competitive game with Timo. Like the dancing for Heimer, though.
That's pretty sick. Yeah, not going to lie.
Not me. No early game shenanigans, just kind of sitting, chilling, making sure the game isn't won or lost on an invade.
I mean, we've seen it happen, though. We saw that Tribush push that got like a triple kill. That was pretty dirty.
Yeah, multiple times. And keep an eye here on Seton Hall and his pathing. Last game, he took it over as the game got later and later. See if he's able to do the same thing yet again.
So they're able to here. Both junglers starting off fairly standard, as we are going to see a fun mid and top lane matchup. Not one I can say that I've ever casted. So we're going to talk about those in a little bit here. You kind of broke down how the bottom lane is going to work here, so I'm not really surprised. I'm really looking towards Nova's Chosen. If he can land those key Bone Skewers and help Ezreal get that poke damage, it's going to be interesting. But of course, the Alistair
J4 device, coming in at level 2.
What? The level 2 gank to start this off. Oh, no! The prediction going through. Nicely done. Advice taking a lot of initial damage, but might have gone a little bit too far. We're seeing Seton Hall looking to maybe rotate in onto this. Nova's Chosen is going to be the target. Can they get themselves out? I believe the reinitiation, the flag and drag. Heal being forced out now. Advice on the flank here, but there. Boop. You have the ignite. Getting him. Owen, though, might have gone a little bit too far. Can Seton Hall get the kill? There's the follow-up knock. If he can't get himself out, that's a 1-for-1.
It's a 1-for-1 aggression early on by both these junglers. And I think it was pre-predicted by Owen that Seton Hall was going to get a fast clear, then head down for a level 2 gank. So he was the one that started off the gank, but right now even more damage down. Nova's Chosen and Sable Shadow have to be careful as we take a look at this one more time. A good bait by Nova's Chosen to just hang it around the bush. Then Advice gets caught up in wanting to get auto attack. The Bone Skewer does land, and good lag and drag prediction by Owen. But then the damage gets turned around by Seton Hall. They go back and forth, swinging around the swords. Good reinitiation by Owen, and he sells out to pick up that kill. It does head on over to Ezreal. Good stuff. And then right here at the very end, he tries to flag and drag out, and he just ends up queuing nothing. And it's a 1-for-1 early on. First blood heading over to Marquette.
Super solid there for them. Getting first blood here, able to get a slight gold lead as we look towards these next scuttles. Owen and Seton Hall starting things off. Seton Hall, Shaco's been banned against him all season long. Wants to bring this out. One of the champions has a lot of fun with. Please be patient, though, up here as well. And we'll have to talk about how team... No?
No, I don't want to talk about Timo.
But I have so many questions.
May they stay questions forever.
All right, that's fine. All right, we're going to ignore the top lane for the duration of the match then. Just going to pretend this doesn't exist. As we see the Shaco invade coming in from Seton Hall. You get your wish there, Degon. I'll not ask.
Yeah, Owen now getting pressured, and that's the power of Shaco, just able to pull you out. And Owen just used Dragon Strike. He's level 2. He doesn't have flash. He's in a lot of trouble. And Seton Hall able just to auto-attack this one down.
That was absolutely disgusting from Seton Hall. Beautiful timing, knowing exactly what the opposing team's jungler was going to be. Goes on in, snipes the buff, snipes the kill for good measure. And really just a solid play there from him to start this off.
Yeah, and this is going to be an interesting wrinkle for DePaul as they move on into the playoff round. Seton Hall has such a deep champion pool. It pulls so many bans, and if the rest of Seton Hall can get comfortable on some of these meta champs, it allows an even stronger draft phase, and Quanhar now in trouble as well. Under the turret gets...
Oh, no.
Oh, goodness. That's the power of the Jack in the Box. The box goes down, gets the fear, and that fear, even though Quanhar flashed away, it held him in place for just long enough that the Deceive and the two-shift Poison pick up the kill.
Yeah, it was a really, again, just more solid play coming from here. I mean, there's a reason it's been banned all season, guys. There is a reason that he has not been allowed to play this champion, consistently banned. There's been a couple opportunities where he was able to pick it up and did not, but this was finally the moment where he's like, guys, I get to show you what I am all about. This is also maybe a bit of a statement pick here from him, just reminding everybody that this is something that he can pull out should he need to. So maybe, like, if he can bait more bans on this in the future, I'm sure he's going to love to do that.
Yeah. I think it makes it easier to play if you're Nami and if you're Quinton E. Here, on the bottom side.
Yeah, Quinton E is going to be the target, though.
Oh, what a headbutt.
What a headbutt. The TP has been committed, though, by Seton Hall, so a lot of resources here. Please be patient. It's like, guys, I'm coming to help you. You're already alive. Excellent. Great.
So Advice pulverized the ground while Owen was going in for the flag and drag. It doesn't knock anybody up except Owen, and then he gets headbutted away, completely negating the gank. However, please be patient. Didn't feel as trustworthy about it. Teleported to the bottom side of the map, so Quanhar able to farm up after that early first blood death.
Yeah, please be patient. Was able to then back, reset, and purchase a little bit of his own here, going back to lane. So not the end of the world here for him. We will keep an eye on Quanhar having that TP. But unfortunately, like, Sion TPing to your assistance, not the biggest impact ever, especially in the early game. The Sion's not going to really do a whole lot for you. His job is really to be the big tank, the frontliner in these fights. He's not going to offer a whole lot in gank or counter gank.
Yeah, numbers advantage, though, is still numbers advantage. So if you build it around something like the Dragon Pit and you force your Dragon, force the Dragon fight, Teemo won't be there. So I think if you're Marquette, that needs to be your next priority. Yes, maybe you didn't want to do Dragon as early as you are, but another set of shenanigans here around the blue buff might lead to explosive action.
Might lead to some explosive action indeed, as we're seeing the knock up there. Finding Nova's Chosen, now running for dear life. This will be like a buff steal. Yes, it will. The Alistair still wants this. Nova's Chosen. That might not have been the bone skewer your heart so desired, as you are the only skewer you're going to find is the one that you are on over the rotisserie fire. That is the wrath of Seton Hall right now. Advice will finally go down in return. Fall able to get himself back out. Man, that Akali so threatening here, but Seton Hall's looking to try and chase him down. Can he do so? Oh, there we go. Forcing out the flash once more, getting back towards the mid, and I believe Fall will survive.
Yeah, Fall will survive.
If he doesn't stay to auto-attack things.
Yeah, he'll survive. But again, just the power of the Shaco, able to walk right into the jungle, and I like the fact that the team played around that play. You saw Advice, the unsung, Nami Warrior with the kill. You saw Advice, the unsung hero of Seton Hall, set it up, go behind the pit, and start this one off. Took the blast cone. See, that's why I said explosive plays. I was hoping you were going to take blast cone after that.
I was going to make a Hextech Micro Rocket or some other reference, but that's totally fine. Talk us through. That was the bone skewer. All right.
He goes over the wall, sets up the play on Nova's Chosen. I think Nova's Chosen got Lee Syndrome, landed a bone skewer that he didn't need. Good pickup by Foe the Fall. But that play was set up. It was a team fight setup before the fighting already. So guys need to understand the Shaco will be in your jungle. You have to play paranoid, and you're going to have to invest in control wards. It's going to slow down your build just a bit, but it's going to be the only thing that keeps you alive. You got to put them down.
You have to, because if you allow that to escalate even further, chance to shut that down, absolutely zero. Saving grace for Marquette right now is the fact that their Israel is 1-0 and 1. He's also staying fairly even in terms of CS with Yasuo, who's not been able to pick up a kill in his own right. So that is something there. If you were to give any credence over the side of Marquette, that's a small victory.
Yeah, crazy that Sable Shadow is currently your stable Shadow. I wouldn't have been able to say that one earlier in the season, but right now, Sable is stable without flipping the table.
I have to respect that, I must say. You know, as somebody who's looked at what they have done wrong, looks to want to improve. That's exactly, I think that's been the message of a lot of these teams over the course of the season, is they've tried to correct a lot of these errors, and we're now seeing Owen going to potentially try and pick something up here, not able to do so. Seton Hall has decided that one jungle is not enough. He needs another.
Yeah, he'll farm up all the camps, and there's not a lot that Owen can do right now. He's so far behind. It's level 8 to level 5. Not a 1v1 champ is Nami Warrior. For the fall is, could try to take 1v1s on that front, but otherwise, Seton Hall can just kind of do whatever he wants, and unless there are multiple members rotating to get there, he's going to win every single 1v1.
He is indeed, and somebody else is winning this top lane here. This is Teemo. Sion, not a whole lot he can do actually up in this matchup. He's going to be able to wave through relatively well.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever this Teemo. I can't believe Please Be Patient playing Teemo. That's so annoying. At 75 CS, he is far ahead. It's an additional attacker. He will be building mixed damage and some AP, as now Advice getting caught out and doesn't have a lot of friends with him.
He does not. He's going to get picked up there. You know, Marquette saying, hey, look, we're going to blow every single ult. I'm going to blow everything to try and take this guy down. He pulls a stopwatch out, thinking maybe there's a chance he's going to be able to get himself out. I think there was a bit of a misplay, not appreciating how much damage Marquette was going to be able to do there. But, hey, good pick for them, capitalizing on somebody who just really wanted to ward. Yeah,
it was a good pickup there. I want to apologize. I wasn't trying to cut you off I was trying to cut you off because I wanted to talk about Teemo, get this done with, and never talk about it ever again.
Yay!
Yay.
Let's do it.
Done. AP, mixed damage, kind of annoying. Really tough for Sion to play into because Sion's always blind.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, and this is a Sion needs to survive lane. He'll TP to the other side of the map. And they need to do this sooner rather than later. Oh, no, Quanwar doesn't have TP, so he's just kind of stuck here in the second or third level of hell known as laning against Teemo.
Yeah, this is a rough time for him right now. Teemo's just going to be able to just back himself up. The traps are down, so he does have that survivability. It's so frustrating because he's got the range, too. Like, this is just, like, Sion's worst nightmare right now. I don't know what I mean, I was going to wonder what Sion's worst nightmare, well, he's most people's nightmares. Look at that guy. But I guess this is his.
That's
laning
it.
Against Teemo.
It's right there. It's pretty awful.
Ouch.
I think right now, if you're Marquette, continue to put pressure on the bottom side of the map. You see the jungler is heading down there right now. Owen thinking about it and setting it up. Will hang around the turret. Seton Hall will be setting up a play around Dragon, though.
Bone Skewer is going to miss the Cataclysm. Finds Quitney. Windwall is there, but not doing a whole lot for him. Whitney forced to flash himself out, try and survive.
1, 2, 3.
The Shaco coming. Oh, that's the massive ult. Pick him up, put him on down. Oh my, in an instant. Yasuo looks like he's out for the count, but instead he is the one putting them down. What is that, Quitney, you fiend?
Yeah, and Seton Hall, Brady Hayes, the selfish jungler, takes all 3 kills. But what a lineup. The final breath lands perfectly onto multiple members. Let's take a look at that one more time. And it looks good to start. No one there, but multiple attacks from Sable Shadow get blocked by the wind wall. He has to reposition, and it lines them all up. And look at those health bars drop. A little bit of I think maybe that's lag by Advice. Either way, he just stands still, takes a mystic shot while he's recalling in the middle lane. Still stays alive. And then Seton Hall picking up all the kills. 8-0-1. Let his Shaco be feared.
That was absolutely massive. And up in the top lane, please be patient. In a bit of a rough spot. The shutdown.
Down goes the Teemo. Oh, yes, it feels so good.
Nicely done, Marquette. Finding a kill somewhere on the board here. You know, Quanwar has had a fairly quiet top lane for him so far, just trying not to die. It's good that the team has allocated some resources to shut down that Teemo, who we mentioned is annoying, and people don't like him. So I guess wanting to shut him down is good.
This is true. The shutdown gold heads on over there. And it gives you, again, Nova's Chosen picks up that kill. No, unfortunately for Quanwar, no assist. I didn't recognize that before. Still sitting 0-1-0. But you're getting more damage down here on Nova's Chosen and gets another threat that the team needs to be aware of.
For sure, as we're looking at 10 kills to 4. This is still Seton Hall looking so comfortable despite the fact that they're putting together a rather unconventional draft, to put it mildly. Nami Warrior's been sitting just in the mid, pretty much uncontested. This is the one area that seems like there's been very little focus paid by the side of Marquette. They just not really thinking this is a huge priority. I mean, Owen has been ganking bottom quite a bit, has even looked towards top. And speaking of look towards top, the Shaco is here. Seton Hall going to try and pick up the kill here. Oh no, there's the
away.
blind flashing immediately. But I think Seton Hall is going to have enough damage to likely take him down right here. 2 more autos should get it done. And there it is.
He does it with the fadeaway ignite. Going legendary 14 minutes into the game, 9-0-1. And again, it's those Invis champs. You just feel so uncomfortable playing against them. You're not used to playing against that type of champion. And there isn't really an answer once Shaco gets going. It's almost like the Kayn. Once Kayn gets very late and so far ahead, as an AD carry, there's nothing you can do, but here comes an engage.
Here comes the engage in the jungle of Marquette. Seton Hall looked like they were in a bit of a rough spot. However, he is able to get himself out of there right now, and it is Owen who is going to be the next potential target here. Is he going to get taken down? Yes, he does. Beautiful play there, and the flash committal from Nummy Warrior to try and get Foe the Fall, but he is not able to do so. Nummy Warrior is going to full. No!
So misses out on that one, but another kill. Heading over to the mid lane, Nummy Warrior picking it up with the empowered grenade. That's what I've heard does the most damage. If you, with Heimerdinger, you're able to upgrade one of your skills, and if you use the Electron Storm Grenade, that one does the most damage. I know everyone likes to see the rockets does great, but it does great on a single target. Once a rocket hits somebody, it doesn't exist anymore. In team fights, if you level up the grenade, it hits every single time. It hits 3 times in a radius, so if you're able to land it and line it up, not like that, you're able to get the most damage output.
I love how you're like going to this nice in-depth analysis of how you're supposed to build out the champion and all this good stuff, and then he walks into the bush and gets cataclysm.
Yeah, like Heimer shouldn't be on the other side of the river. Heimer shouldn't be by himself, not in lane.
Don't tell him what to do, man. He's living his best life.
He did. He lived his best life, and now he's enjoying, you know, the gray screen.
Yep, perfect. I mean, Foe the Fall is having a pretty good time here in mid. Hasn't had, you know, 1, 2, and 0. It's not the best I guess in that regard, but has been CSing relatively well. And the Akali, of course, one of those champs that can just go off if you leave them to their own thing.
Oh, Seton Hall.
Oh, Seton Hall.
Oh, Seton Hall.
Oh, boy. Please be patient. Once again, walking back into this Tri-Brush.
Oh, yes. Oh, I enjoy this.
Definitely going to be dead.
Yes. He's going down.
100% certain
there it is. Yordles. Yordles for food.com. Starting with Timo. 12-6 is your score. More kills than minutes.
Those are the best games, though, for the record.
It's both teams, again, just setting the stakes here. Seton Hall has locked in their playoff position in 4th place, and Marquette playing for pride.
Whoa!
Quinton E getting to press the R button. Another kill, heading on over to the side of Seton Hall, the jungler. Brady Hayes on the Shaco, consistently banned against him and showing why. 11-0-1 so early on.
And we're just continuing to see Quinton E looking to continue to stack this up. I mean, thought he was done for. And the bottom lane gank came through, but he threw out the ult and he found it there. Oh no! Now Nova's chosen has found himself in a bit of a precarious situation, a bit of a pickle, as it were. He's trying to run himself back and having the mobility to get himself out of there, but he's leaving this inhib turret exposed, and the rest of the crew is looking to try and exploit that, push it right on in. This bottom lane is in shambles, and Shaco sensing it, he's smelling it, and he's finding Nova's chosen. He's the chosen one to fall. Yeah,
Nova's chosen. Got away safely, and that's one of the things with Pyke. When you go into out of vision of the opponent, you're able to heal up. But when there's so much burst damage up front by Seton Hall, it doesn't matter how much you can heal. Owen able to pick one back up for the unsung hero of Seton Hall, Advice. Down he goes, flash forward, and Nummy Warrior in trouble.
I feel like Nummy Warrior probably just could have walked away right there. I'm not even sure they were. No, pick up the kill there. Maybe a little bit overzealous, trying to get his teammate out. Alistair's doing a pretty good job peeling for the team, and speaking of the team, they're going to look to go in and try and potentially clean up on this. The Shaco, Seton Hall, you know he wants it.
Yeah, and Foe the Fall needs to be careful. Like, he's very far up. There is no turret. You saw the ping just go down on his face, and he's like, yeah, Shaco's probably nearby. I gotta run away. I can't really step up without control wards.
You see the side of Seton Hall back up, reset a little bit, 14 kills to 8, so Marquette not out of this by any stretch. They are down decent amount of gold at this stage. However, if Seton Hall does get a little bit overconfident, a little bit overzealous, they can be punished. It has happened before. Akali is going in, trying to find Please Be Patient, doing quite a bit of damage.
Oh,
the flash! Dodging out the ult, and that's all the poison going on through. I cannot believe this. As Quan War might be the next one up. Can Nova shows to find him? Yes, they do. Please Be Patient is here. He's trying to pick up the kill. Cannot do so. The ult from Ezreal flying on through just for good measure, but the Alistair, he wants to get himself a kill. There's the flash to committal. And we do see Whitney going in as well. Nova's Chosen is going to go down. The rest of the crew is here, but on the flank, Owen to follow up. Device diving in underneath the turret, taking a lot of damage. It is 2v1. The Scion, though, doesn't have a lot of HP to work with. Quinton E trying to continue to go full beast mode.
Advice started tanking the turret to help out Quinton E, but then
Quinton E backed.
Yeah, Quinton E backed, and I think he got stuck under turret minion blocks. Lag, I'm not exactly sure, so Advice goes down, but now we're not done with the party in the top lane. There it is, Heimer listening to me, getting the max damage out of the grenades, and the long-range rockets landing as well. Solid play by Nummy Warrior, the rotating Heimer dinger. You gotta love it when you see it.
You love to see it. I mean, he was in the jungle before, he got punished for it, but in this situation, knowing exactly where Marquette was going to be and where his teammates needed his help. That being said, the rest of Marquette is going to try and collapse on this, but Shaco is the flank of the flank right now, as here comes the full collapse. Diving right on in, Nova's Chosen is there, doesn't quite connect with the Bone Skewer, but that is still the Cataclysm to try and secure the kill. The flash going back for Nummy Warrior, he's going to be taken down. That is the first one up, and now we see the Yasuo going on in, finds the ult, finds the knockup is there, but not enough to do the damage. The Ezreal is not going to connect as well. The turret's doing quite a bit of damage, but now we see the legendary plays from the Shaco going on in. That's the double kill in the Akali as well.
Yeah, the Akali going back in after landing the original Shuriken. Gonna deal a ton of damage upon impact instead. Quinton E says, not so fast, my friend. I've got a Steel Tempest Tornado ready to knock you right up. Does so, buys enough time for Seton Hall. Brady Hayes to come on by and clean things up, and he also picks up a kill.
Wow. Finds Nova's Chosen as well, just chilling out in the bush. Not really respecting the fact that Seton Hall is playing a champ that can just come out of nowhere and rip your face off.
Yeah, I love those champs.
That's the best.
15-0-1 is Seton Hall.
15-0-1.
Yeah.
It's almost like this is a pocket pick.
Yeah, again, a lot of respect is going to have to be shown this pick during the playoffs here. Coming up in 2 weeks. Next week, we're off to take a break, but afterwards, will we be back with our Big East Championship? Right now, Sable Shadow in trouble. There it is. Grenade.
Bouncing Ball of Death, I'm just saying, and that's
For
a
the
second kill
Seton
going
Hall.
over to Seton Hall.
16-0-1.
They are firing on all cylinders right now. This is Seton Hall just having a lot of fun. And I really appreciate that, to be honest. It's funny because they're actually just, I mean, yeah, there's some shenanigan moments, but they're actually also playing really well.
Yeah.
Like, I actually don't mind a lot of these picks, as weird as it is, and as much as we're kind of joking around. Like, if Seton Hall can play with this level of confidence all the time on actual meta champs, like, they could be legitimately scary and a legitimate threat to, you know, to DePaul.
Yeah, and they're getting to the point right now where it's they're able to cash in on everything that's happened. Like, they're able to cash in on the early lead that they've had, cash in on Seton Hall, Brady Hayes, applying insane levels of pressure on the map. It's been very, very difficult for Marquette to find any space right now over the last like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's been super tough. Foe the Fall doing pretty good damage to Quinton E, which I have to respect. He might look to try and follow up, but he is actually going to do so. Yes, he is. But Quinton E punishing him for it. Oh, the dodge there. Nova's Chosen does end up picking up the kill. That is something for them at least. The stun, though. Chain CC onto the J4 in the mid. That is going to be a return kill from Seton Hall, who now diving in underneath the turret. Seton Hall's gone way too far potentially here.
That was his clone, but he's now stuck on the other side. Might not have a way out, and
but
will be able to pick it up. He's 17-0, but just like the Patriots go 17-1 and 1. I was waiting for that one. You could call him Brady Hayes, more like Tom Brady Hayes, 17-1. Yes.
You put way too much thought into that, and I love it, D-Gun. So good. Absolutely amazing as in-hip turret falls. And he still has 1,000 gold bounty on his head. Sounds about right for Tom Brady Hayes.
Yeah, Nummy Warrior in a lot of trouble.
He's fine.
He doesn't have mana.
He's fine.
So a bunch of inhibs go down. 26-15 is your score. We're almost doubling the amount of kills per minute. Liking this action, and now feels like we have an aggressive play to head on over to. Please be patient. Please zoom into the Teemo here. That's so nuts that Teemo gets passed by.
What?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, that was stellar. That
yes.
Okay.
Yes, Owen.
Committed.
Yes, Owen.
Commit
Kill
the
him.
flash counter. Get him down. Please be patient. Is in the mid. In a bit of a rough spot, but he actually survives the initial burst of damage. Now Quinton E there to try and back him up. The Akali's trying to get him down. Though the fall is there and getting punished once again by Quinton E, who has the number.
Yes.
True shot barrage!
Yes! Sable Shadow, I'm flipping the table right now. You can't see me, but believe me, you're doing it, bud. 2 and 4 Sable Shadow with the long-range True Shot Barrage. But that leaves 2 Seton Halls and 1 Advice to take the Baron. Oh, unless no, oh, please. No, okay.
No, not again.
1 steal is good enough during the series. Now Nova's chosen a little bit of trouble, forced to back off. Here comes the Yasuo. The knockup will slow down. Quinn E, he does have it. The ult will swap positions, able to pop him up. It's Sable Shadow, able to kill Quinn E. Owen is going to be next on the menu. And staying safe a little bit is Sable, but Quanhwar, the guy that subs in, trading his life. What a good guy, that top lane Scion.
Absolutely doing his job, being the tank for his team, taking the rest of the damage. Unfortunately falling here in the situation. His Advice really wants to put a kill together for his team. The inhib is open, it's ready. Turrets are going down, everything is ready to push this right on through. The base of Marquette is in shambles. Seton Hall saying, I think it's time to about win this game. Foe the Fall might be the next one to do just that, if he's not careful.
So 29-17 as they rotate over to the top side of the map. That's a massive group of super minions pushing into the middle of the base, and you can see Seton Hall was deciding, do we go to the top lane or do we just push in these minions? And Brady Hayes says, I'm gonna get red buff.
Sounds about
Spoken like a true carry jungler.
Sounds about right.
You guys can finish the game. I've got my buff.
There are jungle camps to take. Why would I win the game?
Yep. So he's now waiting in position outside of the base. Here he goes, and Viz shifts forward.
Science gonna go through it on the stun.
Won't find anybody.
Alistair's just looking to set this up, but I mean, they don't really want to go too hard here because they are simultaneously split pushing. The Yasuo is coming on in as well as the Teemo in the bottom, looking to just split push as best they can. The Akali's pushing out of the base, though, trying to go onto the Teemo while all this is going on. Shaco is there simultaneously. This is a lot of damage going on through. The Teemo actually does fall throughout all of this. As we do see the pickup there, hopefully we get a chance to watch that back in a bit, as the fight is also breaking out underneath the Nexus turrets. The Cataclysm was used.
Nova's Chosen still has ult. Damage needs to be put down.
Nami Warrior might be the target, able to get himself right on
Advice
out. Nice play there from Advice to try and keep his mid laner alive. The ult going on through. He's trying to find Sable Shadow in the back. He's able to get himself out just a little bit longer. The Yasuo's got a lot of HP to work with.
Yeah, and Nova's Chosen wasn't able to get the death from below ult reset off, so that will be a cooldown that they don't have. Another inhib goes down.
Oh no.
Not a lot of options left here for Marquette.
Alistair does headbutt his way to the grave, but the Nexus is exposed. The minions are here. They're Baron empowered, and that is going to be it. GG, Seton Hall take it. The final series, 2-0.
Yeah, Seton Hall with a comprehensive victory through their jungler, Seton Hall. The Shaco pick showing exactly why that was consistently banned over and over again.
The Shaco pick making them shake in their boots every single time. Going 17-0, I believe, before he finally gave up that first death. Wow. Yikes.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the Shaco and snowball carries in general. When you're able to get ahead and get a lead, it's so difficult to slow them down because you don't know where they're coming from. They have the ability to get upon you. So champs like Nocturne, which is a little bit more meta, but then after that, a Kha'Zix and Kane that he played last game, and even a Shaco kind of fit in that mold where they have an engage tool that just is so quick, and if you're just sleeping for half a second, you get caught out.
Yeah, we saw that happen multiple times. We'll take a look back at some of those highlights from that last set, as we saw that Shaco doing a lot of work and finding some fun moments like this as well. The rest of the team stepping up. Yeah,
the rest of the team stepping up, and it was a good, aggressive early game read and start by Owen to pick it off, but after that, look at this beautiful three-man knock-up, and Sable Shadow wants to get his auto attacks off, but forgot the first rule of playing AD carry, it's staying alive. And by putting himself in position to get autoed like that, it was very difficult for him to stay alive. Just like that, multiple kills onto Seton Hall, the jungler. And it leads to plays like this too, where you're able to buy time and allow the rest of the team to come on in. And dashing around, Quinn E and Seton Hall joins in right there, picks up 2 kills, keeps his bot laner alive, and this is good form for the boys of Seton Hall just because they are preparing for the playoffs. They're very, very close and will have an opportunity to take down DePaul.
It will indeed, and you know, I have to look towards the player we mentioned quite a lot in that last game. It is, of course, Seton Hall, the jungle. Brady Hayes returning once again to the broadcast, the man with the magic fingers, playing, well, for those who don't understand that reference, that could be really, anyway,
no.
All those Guitar Hero skills, we'll call that. Congratulations once again, man. There you go.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me again.
So that last game, obviously things changed up a little bit in terms of draft and composition. Walk us through your thought process there, because obviously you guys are, having a little bit of fun in that final game.
Okay, so yeah, we wanted to have a lot of fun considering it was the last game of the season, and I don't think the game mattered too much in terms of standings. So we just wanted to have a fun draft that, people could watch and just have a blast watching. And I think it turned out that way too.
I think I did a good job of making clear how much I wanted you to play Shaco. Did you also know how upset I was going to be about picking Timo at the top side?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, our one analyst told us about that. They're like, okay, let's have one thing that seems really cool, and then one thing that's just so stupid that no one will appreciate it, but we kind of appreciated it to some degree. We were asking him like, oh yeah, what build are you gonna go? He's like, I have no clue.
I could tell.
Just pull something up on the second monitor. We'll go for it, guys. This will be fine. And it was fine, though. So congratulations again on that win there.
Thank you.
You've secured, obviously, your playoff spot now. That is confirmed, that 4th playoff spot. Looking forward, of course, going up against a pretty tough opponent in that first slot. Give us your thought process on this, because you look pretty confident today.
So we played DePaul. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, DePaul.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been looking very strong recently. I mean, Brownman Darius especially, after seeing his performance against Villanova today, it's kind of scary. But when we played against him earlier in the season, our top laner actually went pretty even with him, if not like kind of good against him. So, I mean, I think we have a chance, and I think it'll be a good match to see. But yeah, that's what I think about that. I think it'll be a good match.
Well, remember, the native 192 said that their top laner had played against kind of good top laners as well, and you saw the performance that happened out of Brownman Darius.
Man. Dude, that Darius is just, oh god. I mean, I played with it in solo queue a few times too, and it's just you want that on your team every game.
Hopefully on your team in that situation. I mean, either way, again, I think it's going to be a great match. You guys obviously got to be super pleased. How much does it mean to you guys to make it into that top 4?
I think it means a lot to us. We're a new program. We don't even have like a gaming room yet, but we're working on it, and making it into that top 4, and maybe even if we can go further, maybe make it to the championship and better not win. I think that means a lot. And we're working really hard to achieve that goal. So expect good things, I feel.
Yeah, 2 years in the running to make playoffs. Congratulations, Brady.
Absolutely.
Hey, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, man. Congratulations again on that match. We really appreciate taking a time to chat with us. Any last shout-outs before we say goodbye?
Shout out to, I mean, there's the obvious few in chat. Demo and Disco. Yeah, they're in there quite a bit. They want to showcase their fandom as much as possible, whether it be through memes or whatnot. So shout out to them. Shout out to, I don't really know who else.
All right, anybody in Twitch chat, we get you.
Yep. Shout out to anyone from Seton Hall who came out to watch. A lot of people from our school decided to watch, and I really appreciate that. So.
Awesome. Well, dude, thank you so much. We appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. Congrats on the win, and good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, you heard it there. The pick was absolutely designed to trigger you. So,
yeah, I know. Tom Brady Hayes still bad at Pokemon.
Ouch. All right. Well, there you go. That was the day. We saw some amazing games. Got to see the standings sort of shake themselves out there at the end. Final thoughts on the day, D-Gon?
We made it. Full regular season done and dusted. A brand new organization in with St. John's, who had a heck of a showing for their first season and a great turnout in their final game against Villanova to eke out a victory. But kind of repeats itself here, does history. DePaul on top in the regular season, Villanova number 2, Seton Hall still making playoffs, but this time at 4th instead of 3rd. And the Cinderella story in Butler, we're going to have ourselves a heck of a playoffs.
I am so very excited, of course, looking at your final playoffs bracket is DePaul up against Seton Hall, the 1 versus 4 seed, and then the 2 and 3 Butler and Villanova battling it out. Gonna see if we'll see a repeat there on the final. I mean, there's so many things that could happen here. This Butler-Villanova match in particular, I have no idea what way that's gonna go.
Yeah, and That's going to be a really good push match here, just because you have to wonder the mental of Villanova, the native 192, a lot of big statements, and is a player with a lot of firepower, but you've seen what happens when players with a lot of firepower end up turning on themselves, get a little bit tilted. Butler seems to be more of that cohesive team. I would say a DePaul light. It's going to be a great matchup on the opposite side. Brady Hayes is such a good player.
Yeah.
And the Sheckler, solid jungler for DePaul. I don't know if he has the same carry potential. It'll be great to watch that matchup as well.
Oh, yes. I cannot wait from all of us here at ESL. Thank you all so very much for joining us. We will see you in 2 weeks, March 17th, for the playoffs here for the Big East Collegiate League of Legends, a regular season wrapping things up. And for myself and Baron from Degon on the desk, thank you all so much. We'll see you next time.
Brr, 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 brr.